Welcome to another episode of Graves in Australia Diecast Salvage. Today, I hope to be playing with a couple of Dinky Toys Packards. The yellow and white one is a Packard Clipper based on a 1957 Packard Clipper. The other vehicle is based on a 1939 Packard Limousine. I think it's 1708 or close enough to that from what I can find on Google Images. So, come and join me on the workbench so that we can have a closer look at them. Now that I've got rid of the roundabout, I'd like to welcome to the channel new viewers. Glad you were able to stop by, and thank you for the returning viewers. You're my friends, and I hope you get to enjoy this video. So let's have a look at the older one first. Someone has already painted this once before, and it wasn't too bad a paint job until we have some paint spillage on here, and we got some paint chips up the top there. Now the way these come apart is you need to take the axles out to take this base off. There's no window or interior in this vehicle, but some of that may change during the course of this episode. So let's have a look at the Dinky Toys Packard Clipper. White tyres. Well, they're supposed to be white. They should come out white again, or cream colour once we start soaking them. No interior, no glass in this particular model, but some of that may change during this episode. So this one too has been overpainted by its previous owner. Can't tell whether it's a spray can or a hairy stick, but it doesn't matter because it's coming off. Casting looks like it's in good condition, but that's where it ends. And the same with this one. Casting is in good condition. So let's get on to the disassembly. We'll catch you there. And we're sort of back. Now, as mentioned a few moments ago, this one here, we need to take the axles out to get the base out. If you have a look at the axle ends, they are crimped. And what you do is you file off the ends, and you should be able to pull them out, because that's all I've done with these, is just file the ends so they're sort of flat, and the wheel should, with a little bit of persuasion, come out in these. So what we'll do is we'll pair them up again. And the same thing with the rear wheels. Sounds like the neighbours are doing some tree lopping. And the base plate should come out. There we go. We'll need to straighten it up a little bit. So we're off camera. But that should clear up. Where's my container? We'll put the tyres in there for the moment. We'll probably stick them in some hot water to get the rubber booties off. And there's our casting. And it looks like it was a maroon colour previously in its original state. Judging by that. And this one here was held in by 2 posts. And I've used a burr tool to take the mushroomed heads off, like I usually do. Lift the base off. And we might stick this into some calcium, lime and rust, or CLR. Because the white walls or the white tyres are rather hard and I don't particularly want to break them. Saves me having to make some tyres. So we'll put that aside. That leaves us our casting. And this may have been a orange and white one at one stage. Don't know. And to be honest, I really don't care because we're going to change it. Alright, so we're heading off to our new stripper venues, or our new strippers. That's where we're heading for. So I hope to see you there. You can be a participant maybe with strippers. So we are in our new stripper venue. So let's see how we go. There's going to be some noise, so put your earplugs on. Let's go. All right, our strippers. What a wonderful job they've done. So, before we have a look at our naked vehicles, we've done a bit of a utter cleanup in that we've cleaned up the hubs for the 39 Packard. And there we cleaned them up. We weren't able to save the tyres, so we'll have to make some new booties. But for the clipper, we were able to save the white tyres. All I did was put them into some hot water, and as you can see, we polished up the base better. And the base of the 39 Packard it's also nicely polished. So that's those. So now, if you don't want to see naked vehicles, I suggest you close your eyes now, because there's the clipper and there's the 39. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to use the brass bristle brush and just go like that on both vehicles. As you can see, it's starting to come up nicely. Once I've done the brass bristle brush, I'll come over to the scourer. Which brings us a nice, more shiny to it. I'll do that on both vehicles. I'll do that off camera, and the next time you'll see these should be just before or after they've gone into primer. See you then. Well, we're going to attempt to make some windscreens or window units for these two Packards. So we've got to make a mould, make a plug, and then we can use a vacuum former to make the window units. But first we need to make the mould so that we can make the plug. Now I do apologise for the shakiness, because I've got to work around you guys. Now I'm using a product called Amazing Remelt. So it's something that can be used over and over again. And what I've done with the cars is I put a balloon around the outside, because we don't want it to leak any much further. Just want to come up to a certain height. And we do the same in this vehicle. Hopefully I've got enough Amazing Remelt to do the job. I think I do. It's like a gelatin, like a jelly it turns into. So we'll let that go off, and we'll come back with the results of the plug, because then I've got to make a silicone mould to make a resin plug. Lots of work to do on these two. So as you can see, I have taken the balloons off our castings, and this is what we get. This is the Packard. I'm not too worried about the roughness at this stage. So we can pull this out. Of our casting. So that goes with that one. So let's have a look at the 39 Packard again. It has filled the window area nicely. Again, I'm not too concerned about that being like that. Sorry for knocking you guys, because we've still got a little bit more to do as we try and pull this out. Because this part here goes behind up behind here, the bracing for where the axles sit in. So there's our casting. There's our temporary plugs. We're going to use this as our mold box, and we're going to pop these in to our mold box, and we're going to, dear oh dear, things are falling apart, just like me. I'm falling apart. No, just too much rubbish on the table again. Okay, we're going to use some of this silicone rubber to make our silicone mold, and when we've done that, we can put these back into our remelt container, and we can then make a resin plug. So catch you in a moment. All right, so I've mixed up the silicone rubber and put it in poured it over our amazing remelt. This is now set, so I should be able to pull them out. This is our 39 Packard. Just going to do a bit of a trimming of the excess that we don't really need. But there we have it there. And we'll do the same thing with our other piece. So we can put our mould box away. So here are our temporary plugs, and if we hold them out, we can put those in our away, and you can see that we've got it nice and smooth. Again, I'm not too worried about these being rough, because what we'll do is when the resin is set, that's when we start doing our finishing touches. And we'll have a look at our 39 Packard mould. So they're ready for our resin. I'm just going to put other stuff out of the way, and I was going to do some fine trimming up here, and then we'll get moving on to pouring the resin. See you in a moment. Okay, we've put the silicone mold back into the form box just to give a bit more stability. This is my mixing cup for the resin. This is part A, this is part B. They're of equal volume. So now this isn't the freshest resin, hence why this one's the colours are a bit distorted. So once we start mixing, like we are now, the chemical reaction has already started. Just get these last few drops in. Don't spill it, fumble fingers, because it'll be a mess to clean up. So we now need to stir. That should be enough. Let's put that in a safe place. And now we do a pour. I'll come up to the high tide mark because they'll help with our vacuum forming. Now we'll go into the other one. Again, I'll come up to the high tide mark that I put. You know, add a little bit more into this one. It's just showing you that my table isn't quite level. All right. Now, as you can see, we've got plenty left over, but this is old resin, so that can be used up the best way. When this is ready, this will be a whitish colour. I just want to level that out a little bit. I'll put this underneath it, that might work better. There we go. Just goes to show how unlevel this table is. And I've always been wondering why things have been rolling off. Anyway, that's all right. I'll bring you guys back when we're ready, which shouldn't take long. As you can see, it's already starting to turn white now. There is heat being generated out of there. So this should be ready in about 10 minutes. I'll bring you back for that because it's time for me to have lunch. As you can see, almost done. See you soon. Okay, we have our resin molds or plugs out of the silicone mold. This is the temporary plugs that I made, and as you can see, there is now differences between the temporary and the resin plugs. I've done some work, and to be honest, this is my second pouring of the resins, because I left the original ones like this, and we had failed pulls because of the what they call the undercut, which is the bottom part of your plug, in that mine weren't correct. So we'll give these ones a try. So I'll take you over to the vacuum form, and that's the name of the machine. It's called a vacuum form. And we'll see if we can get a good pull. See you over there. So let's welcome the new addition to the Gravesend Australia Diecast Salvage Workshop. This is what's called the brand name is Vacuum Form, and it is a vacuum former. Now this thing is pretty much idiot proof, and of course I'm an idiot, so this should suit me down to the ground. Unlike the dental formers that a lot of other brethren of this hobby use, like I say, it's idiot proof, because this panel here tells you everything what you need to do. We've set it to PETG. I don't know if it's coming up on the screen, as that's the material that I'm using. It will set a temperature for you after you put in the thickness. I'm using a 0.5 mil, and it asks you also how much vacuum you want, how much suction you want. And once you've set that up, it will then tell you when to press this button. So at the moment I'm doing a preheat, and we're up to 93 degrees. We want it to go to 150, and that will be a first run. That's what they recommend, without anything on the plate. That's what they recommend. And then you do your pull. So I'm going to set you guys down here, so you get to see the action. Just do a little bit of adjustment, and I'll bring you back shortly. All right, I've set the parameters up. We have our plugs here. Just got one more button to press. The item is now heating, so keep an eye on the top of your screen. And here we go. That's our start. Our element is heating. Now what in other videos that I've seen regarding vacuum forming, they don't tell you to do a cycle before you actually do your mold. So those that have dental formers, heat up your plastic just a little bit and then do your pull. So I've let this do 2 cycles with no plastic in there, just get the excuse me, getting the heater element ready. This is set for 150 degrees. We're currently at 142. When it gets to 150 degrees, the vacuum on this thing will turn on automatically and will lower the bar. If you look at the top of your screen, you should start seeing the plastic coming down before it's heating. All we're doing is just making it more secure. It's now finished its vacuum. All right, let's see you in a moment to see what the results are like. And here, ladies and gentlemen, is our window unit installed. On both vehicles. Might have to do a bit of tweaking on the roof on this one. Didn't realise that before. But I'm happy with that. So, what we've still got to do, besides painting these vehicles, we've got to make rubber tyres. So, I've done the tyres in past videos, so you'll have to look back in my catalogue as to how I make them. So we'll bring you back after I've made the tyres. Vehicles are in primer. Never know, might even come back with them already painted. Catch you in a moment. This is just a reminder as to what we started with at the beginning of this episode. And here we are. Now, here we are with our two Dinky Toy Packards. The black one that is coming around now is the 39A Packard sedan. And the two-tone is the Dinky Toys 180 Packard Clipper. I'm happy with the results that I've got with these two. So, we've repainted both of them. We've stripped them. We're using our sandblaster. We've made new window units from scratch. We had to make plugs, and then we used a vacuum former to make them. With the Packard, with the black Packard, we've put in jeweled headlights and tail lights and front indicators. We've polished the front and rear bumpers, as the same as what we've done with our Packard Clipper. We've polished the bumpers, the grille. We've rejuvenated the white wheels on them, and there we go, we are done. I'm happy with what the results I've got. Paintwork could have been a little bit better, but I can revisit that at another time. I hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll catch you next time at Resin Australia Die Cast Salvage.